Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you for downloading and checking us out this week. Oh my gosh, dear listeners, it has been a long time since we have updated this feed. No, we did not pod fade. We did have some things going on. Let me take a look at my notes. Here's one of the things that I really hate, this pen that I've used to take notes. And I hate it. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it right into the trash because I have fallen in love with fountain pens. I've fallen in love with fine point mountain pens. But listen, you're not here to listen to me discuss about my love of fountain pens. Where have we been? Well, we've had a lot of issues and problems. Okay. We have had connection issues. We've had some recording issues, and the problems were so bad that we had 0 shows banked. And I always like to have shows banked as much as I possibly can. That being said, we don't have as many banked right now as I want, but that is due to sicknesses. That's due to emergencies. In fact, this past week, the week of June, 5th, 2025, we had somebody who had to go to an emergency room. As far as I know, everything is okay. Me personally, I had 2 kids graduating, one from 8th grade and one from high school. Yes, that kid at the end that says,
"This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC."
Graduated high school. And if you've been around long enough, you know that this show is almost as old as he is. And the other one was born in the middle of this show. He was born in the middle of the 2nd season of Void Saga, I want to say. And he graduated 8th grade. So there's been a lot of that craziness going on. Everybody's schedules being going on. But then we've also had some technical errors. And it literally was causing us to cancel 2 shows in the middle of recording because they were so bad. Here's what I will say. Make sure that you are always using the most updated version of Discord. I know many of you use Discord for your communications and your online gameplays and your own podcasts, your real play podcasts, etc. Please make sure that when everybody joins that they're all using the most recent version of Discord. So that has put us back. And I had just basically said, hey, I need to take a moment and we need to give ourselves a little buffer so everybody can take a deep breath, get done with Achtung Cthulhu, and get ready for the next thing. So what is the next thing? The next thing is Monster Wrangler. We're doing a short campaign. Brian is running that. And we've got a couple episodes under our belts. But Monster Wrangler is an interesting system. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a moment. And then following Monster Wrangler, Rodrigo is back at the GM chair to give us a Lancer game that many of you have been asking for us to run over the last couple of years. If you're not familiar with Lancer, Dark Horse Books just recently, and by recently I mean a couple of months ago, released the physical copy of the manual of the Player's Guide and GM book that you can go pick up if you want to follow along with us. Characters are being created. I've played Lancer before. It's been a couple of years, so I need to sit down and refamiliarize myself with my mech and probably build a new mech for this upcoming game. Hey, persons, we could really use your help. We could really use your support. If you're listening to the show and you've enjoyed this show for 15 years, 18 years, however long it's been going on, we could use your support right now because we're getting to the point where we are almost not able to afford the cost to make this show happen. That includes server costs, that includes hosting costs, that includes paying people for the work that they do week in and week out. So we could really use your help right now over at patreon.com/major spoilers. Again, patreon.com/major spoilers. If you are a patron, then you get this show, especially at the silver level, you get this show a week early and commercial free. So everybody who's listening to this on the public feed right now, everybody who's over on the Patreon, they already listened to that last week. You could be listening to next week's show right now when you join patreon.com/major spoilers. $5 a month. You can sign up for a whole year in advance and you get a discount. So you're not even paying $60 for an entire year. I know it's the economy stupid right now, and the economy is stupid right now. But if you can find it in your hearts to kick us $5 a month for all of the shows that we share with you, I would be very, very grateful, and it would mean a lot to me if you did that. And really, it would mean a lot to everyone else, because without the support of our fans and our listeners, the show goes away, unfortunately. Okay, here is our group discussion about Monster Wrangler and what you can expect in the game, which the first episode will kick off next week. Take care, everyone, and I hope to talk with you and see you all again very soon. Yes, see you all again very soon. Monster Wrangler discussion. All right, I am looking forward to playing not Pokemon. Right.
Yeah, that's pretty not Pokemon. These monsters don't fit in your pocket. What are you talking about?
What if I have really big pockets?
Well, I suppose. If you have a particularly small monster and big pockets, maybe you can make it happen.
It's like that song, a short skirt and a long jacket.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, I've got something in my
small
front
monster
pocket
and a big pocket.
pocket.
I have only read a little bit of the manual for this, Brian, but give us kind of an overview of what Monster Wrangler is all about.
Yeah, I mean, it's you might notice some similarities to a certain well-known video game franchise, but it does kind of make the basic assumption that the characters you're playing are going to be kids. Everyone has at least one monster they start out with, and wandering across this world that largely seems to be vaguely 90s era tech, with the exception of video games, which seem to be advanced VR for some reason. But
Okay.
yeah, just wandering across this region and helping people with issues with monsters while
So are we
doing
like
monster fights for fun.
Are we problem solvers? Is that what we are? Or are we like legitimate like tournament people? Because that's one of the things that so I bought a bunch of the Monster Wrangler stuff. And one of the things that you can get, I think, over on Drive-Thru-RPG is the tournament bracket. Is that a thing that will be I want to be the very best?
I mean, it can be. I mean, the tournament bracket, I mean, there's like a pre-written adventure that you can kind of deal with the situation surrounding a Monster Wrangler tournament. But even in that adventure, you don't necessarily have to be a participant, but that's most likely the easiest way to be involved.
Okay.
But,
all right. What questions do you guys have?
I was
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking through it, and I was a little bit sad that the classes seem to reflect directly into handling monsters and aren't like just random jobs like in Pokemon. Like I was like, oh, can I be can my class be like chef, but I'm a chef who has a monster? I guess that I can still probably do something like that. It just doesn't have a mechanical expression necessarily.
And he like hides under your hat and pulls your hair to make you cook.
I mean, I feel like the botanist definitely has like ways to make things with plant material that you could probably easily, like reskin the herbalism into cooking meals and whatnot.
Sure.
Oh, and the creature that you're going to have to go after all the time, Rodrigo, would be the one of the monsters in the Amorphs expansion, or called the Aspic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
see,
for those of you who know what Aspic is,
like a blancmange.
It's like I don't know if you've ever seen Aspic.
Is the ratio between the up and down and the back, the side to side.
So back in the 70s, for whatever reason, everyone thought it was a great idea to put everything in Jell-O to kind of make it preserve a little longer. And so Aspic is basically the unflavored Jell-O. And so you would put like meat. You'd bake a whole meal and put it in Aspic and then serve it to people. So there'd be like carrots and beef inside of this Jell-O substance. Gross. Yeah. But if you want to be a cook, maybe that's the one that you're constantly looking to hunt or wrangle, I should say.
I mean, maybe. Although, we're playing kids, so I'd have to be like an apprentice cook.
A little chef, yeah.
There you go.
And honestly, I mean, I am going with the general assumption that you'll probably be kids, but if someone wants to be like, an adult chaperone or whatever, that's fine as well. There is a perk you can take to be an adult rather than the baseline kid.
I'm fine being a kid.
Is this going to be something where we're going to be like traveling?
Yeah, you'll be wandering and
could it be like land, sea, and air? Because I was looking at that writer archetype.
Yeah.
And I want to be a writer on a napkin so that if I ever fall in the water, I can say, "Oh, you sank my battle sheep."
I mean,
what?
You might be able to do that. I think you might have an issue with the size of the nap, and I don't know if it's going to be quite big enough for you, but...
I can be a small kid. It'll be fine. Or maybe a big nap. Fine, I'll ride on a Grimlock. There's clearly a Grimlock in here on... Let's see. Rarity
there is
page
one.
145. Can I ride on a Grimlock?
Yeah, keep in mind that any monster, you will start with the juvenile version of the said creature.
Oh, so...
You'll have to keep the whatever size that is in mind.
Right. So what evolves into a Grimlock? Is it like...
Grimdar,
yeah. And then like that first level is just like a Hong Kong Fooey or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, you start with like a weaker version, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Iguanodon 1.
So
I am serious though about the writer because I think that just appeals to my big stupid visual brain.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could absolutely do that. Might have to look around and see what would be a good fit for Monster for that. I'll have to double check the writing rules because I don't remember if they have to be your same size or larger.
Mm-hmm.
But we can probably find something that fits.
So, okay.
And if anyone's reading along at home and they're not finding the writer, that is because the writer is actually a class that they just released on the Patreon for the game company. So, hey, maybe give those developers a bit extra coin and pick it up there.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we were talking about last week was how does the dice system work in this game? Because that may turn people on or turn people off.
I mean, it's vaguely reminiscent of old World of Darkness kind of stuff. It's a D10 dice pool thing, where you're looking at, you roll the dice and try to get successes, which is typically any die that's a 7 or higher.
Oh, a 7 or higher. But so D10. Okay, so I need to change this.
Yeah, D10.
Okay, so if you guys look in Roll20 after our conversation last week, I worked with a certain device to create a macro, which is kind of what these things are kind of good at. But I've got 2 of them in there. I don't think that they're correct because I thought it was D6s that you were rolling. But just roll either the one that's called the Monster Wrangler roll or the fixed Monster Wrangler. I think the Monster Wrangler roll does something weird because are we always rolling? We're rolling D10s, but how many are we rolling at a time?
It depends on your stats. Usually, it's going to be an attribute and a skill.
Okay, so like
determine how many dice.
Five or something like that.
5 is probably about average.
Okay. Did it go? It did not go.
And it should explode if you roll a 10, which means you roll an additional die.
Yeah, so Carlos or Rodrigo rolled, and so if you hover over that, and again, this is only D6s instead of D10s, but it shows that you got because is it 5s and 6s or everything above 7 is a success? Right.
It'd be 7 or higher.
Okay,
as a success.
In this instance, because I only did a D6, and I can change this macro really quick to change it to a D10, but you had 1 success. But because it is in this case, a 7 or higher, that dice explodes, right? And what does that mean?
So basically, if you roll the 10 on a D10, then you keep that die as a success, and you'd roll an additional die.
Yeah, additional single die.
Okay.
And you can keep exploding these things, right? So if you rolled, in this case, a D6, and it was a 6, you'd get to roll another D6, and you would keep doing that for every exploded dice that you get.
Yep, it can keep exploding.
And so that's kind of an interesting thing. Now, I don't know if that is, if I change the macro, Brian, if that is something that works for you or not. In fact, which one did you roll? Did you do which macro did you roll, Rodrigo? The fixed one?
The fixed one, yeah.
All right, let me just go into
we might have to mess with it because there is the issue of that success value of 7, that can change.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the difficulty comes in. And so I might just have to make a separate macro, even if I don't put them all on the hotbar, just see if I can.
Okay, so you roll D10s, determine what the threshold of success is, but not every success explodes, right?
Yeah, not every success, just every time you roll a 10 max, it explodes.
All right, so I changed it. I just updated it to be D10s, and I hover over. Oh, it still didn't do D10s. I rolled 5 of them.
Roll D6.
I rolled D6s again. Let me go back in.
I mean, definitely if you can get the macro working, go for it. But like, if all we have to do is just count successes and just re-roll any 10s, that's not that hard.
Yeah, and all you have to do to make roll 20 explode is just put an exclamation mark at the end. So that's an easy part.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's all you have to do? Because from what a certain system told me, was that you had to have GM access with the API in order for it to remember your dice to automatically roll the other dice. Does that make sense? So like it would do everything automatically if so I just did the fixed Monster Wrangler macro, and it is working correctly now. But yeah, so it would 1, 2, 3. So you would roll 3 more D10s.
So yeah, I mean, we can definitely just do basically what Rodrigo's saying. Just roll /R whatever D10 exclamation.
Let me just change that macro.
Yeah, literally, I just did that, right? So that my last roll here was a 2, a 10, a 2, a 1, and a 3, right? I rolled 5 dice, so it exploded twice, or it exploded
3 times
into a 10, which exploded again, which then got me a 9.
Yes.
So you can just put a success threshold, like the same way that we do in Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So 5d10 greater than.
And you have
7.
to use brackets to get the exclamation point inside that, and so that's why I was trying to really make a macro to make it easier.
I see.
Yeah. let me just copy and paste this macro for you. Okay, so yes, this worked. This works for me. I put the exclamation into the macro. It rolled my dice. It rolled 1d10, and then I got 1 success off of that, and then my next roll was a 9. So I'll just copy this macro over to you, Brian, so that you can mess around with it if you like. Or we can do it this way as well.
I figured it out.
Good job. Yeah, Rob's got it. So yeah, we can just do that, and you can adjust if we have to change the success level from there. Because I'm pretty sure that's like a lot of what the abilities and whatnot can do for you.
Oh yeah, nice. So that's it right there. Is the 5d10 exclamation point greater than 7? What's the greater than 7 do?
No, you have to use brackets, not parentheses.
Oh, brackets.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why.
What's the greater than 7 do?
That will count, whichever dice has successes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so see how Rob's first,
Yep.
Rob says 6 successes, but mine says 32. It just added them together, and then I did it right the next time, and it tells me I got 1 success.
And it even rolled, how many? You rolled 5.
Yeah,
1,
so it
2,
rolled,
3, 4, 5.
I rolled 5 dice, exploded once.
Okay, yeah, cool. See, I knew we could figure this out, Brian. We didn't need to have a pro account to get this to work.
No.
And how does damage work?
Oh, it's pretty much the same mechanic. Whatever attack or weapon you're using, so it tells you what the damage rating is, and you roll those dice.
Brian, how much of the backstory of the world are we going to have to know for this?
Not too much. I mean, it's a pretty sparse detail on the world background anyway. It's a pretty blank canvas.
Sure.
So, like I say, I'm largely going to assume that we start off in the country of Moria, which is largely where monster wrangling, basically controlling monsters first happened on a competitive level within this world. Basically, another country found some old robots in the ocean because they were a fishing village and rebuilt them, and then ended up using them to start taking over the whole region. But then Moria started using their monsters to fight back, and basically turned the tide of that war, and monster fighting became like this big popular thing. That's kind of the Cliff Notes version.
Okay. And there's only like 230 pages. We can all read this by next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, like you said, if we only have to read Moria, then we don't need to read about the other countries until we get to them. And
or if you want to be from elsewhere, that's fine. You can.
Yeah. Oh,
and so we each start
a mechanic.
What's that?
It says measuring time. Is that a mechanic in this that we have to be worried about?
Not any. Yeah, just like turns and rounds and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just standard. There's no like having to count torches or rations or anything.
All right, cool.
So we are each going to get two
class abilities.
2 class abilities, which can both be from the same class, right? Or they can both be the signature move of 2 classes.
Yep. No matter what, the first move you take has to be the signature move of a class. So if you're taking from 2 different classes, you're just going to be choosing 2 signature moves. But if you just want to stay focused in one class, you can take the signature move and a novice.
And then we're starting with 1 monster.
Yep. You'll start with 1 juvenile monster.
Do we get to pick that monster, or is that automatically assigned like a Squirtle?
I'll let y'all pick that. I did. I go ahead and pull out every rank 1 or rarity 1 monster there was within all the
file called rarity.
Yeah, rarity 1. Yeah,
okay.
That's. I also put it in that email I sent y'all, just to kind of narrow down the options. But if you do, be looking in other books and decide that you want something more rare than that, feel free. You just might have to come up with a.
I like this
a bit of a rationale.
I like this punk rock possum. It kind of goes with the character I was talking about last week. So, yeah.
All right.
The Deparsum?
Yeah, the Deparsum. This got a
Neil parted.
Yeah. Read that because that is an interesting one. Because
That's why
when
there's
it
no
faints, the Oparted ghost of
emerges.
that Tapars,
Nice.
emerges.
Nice.
It's
That
a little
comes from-
and oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it comes from one of the expansions, the Remnant expansion, where it kind of introduces the undead type spooky monsters.
It's a tad annoying that, like, am I seeing this right? Do the stat blocks not list the type of creature it is?
It's on the side of the page.
Oh,
Oh,
there
I
it
see.
is.
Yeah.
I see. There
And
it is.
it can be on a different side depending on which one, because they definitely laid it
Right.
out where that's going to be on the edge of the page, on a
Gotcha.
2-page spread.
Okay,
And since
yeah,
I'm
'cause-
pulling from different books and rearranging things, they're going to be.
yeah, there's a
flipping around.
list. Like, I saw a list at the end of the chapter, and I'm like, am I gonna have to reference this list every time if I have like a class that cares about what kind of critter I use?
Yeah, it's.
There's some pretty cool creatures in here. I like there's the giant mechanical stemosaur,
Yeah.
which looks
That-
pretty cool. And then
Yeah,
like
Grimlock.
a walking
Big Grimlock.
pumpkin.
Yes.
Yeah, the
If you want
pumpkin.
some that uses sword and shield or weapons.
Mm.
I like that it has a shovel head strapped to its front like the chest plate.
Yeah.
There was a section at the end of the monsters about making monsters.
There is. In the core rulebook.
Yeah.
So we're allowed to make our own monsters or no?
Yeah, if you want. We'll largely just, stick with like the pre-written moves and all. But
yeah.
if you want to,
I'd just rather keep the same, default monster. Makes it easier.
Was there any fossil type stuff?
Rob, there's a giant mechanical
not-
dinosaur.
Yeah, I got to start a Pokemon game a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That went 2 sessions and then immediately stopped. And if I could like translate that character to this, then I have like actual full personality and a bunch of other stuff actually built in for him already.
So-
Whereas most of my characters don't develop a personality until like session 3 or 4 half the time, because I have to figure out how I'm bouncing off of things and whatnot.
Now, is yours a
think-
scary? Is this a scary creature? Because maybe you want to look under the remnants.
the remnants.
Expansion. 'cause that's
Also,
all the
Rob, you
scary guys.
mispronounced season. Season 3 or 4.
Leave him alone. There's
All right, that was too mean.
There's you probably want to look at their abilities, Rob, because they have like their innate traits and then their secondary traits. So depending on I think it's more about what you want the critter to be able to do than necessarily if it's like a fossil of some kind. Especially since here you don't get the like types, right?
Yeah, there's
Like,
not really
having it
type
be
matching.
half rock type. It doesn't mean anything here.
And there's not really a rock category of the techniques. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the what is it called? The fern turkey.
The Fernky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one I got from the Patreon.
The Tofurkey.
Yeah.
And so, what do the symbols mean on the top of their monster stat block? So, like the fern key has like a beak, which I'm guessing is like a beak attack.
Yeah,
And then
it's
got
largely
like
telling you.
a foot. That means it's going to kick you too.
Yeah, that tells you what categories or techniques you can select. So yeah, beak is
okay.
beak, and that foot there.
That horn is horn.
Yeah. Oh, it's a horn. Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was somebody with a really
It's a horn.
pointy shoe that was kicking you in the behind.
That does look like an elf shoe, but I think it's a horn.
It's horn.
Yeah.
Melee focus typically provides a lot of extra movement, enabling the monster to move quickly across the battlefield. So
Yeah, so there are techniques that are tied. So even if we pick a pre-made monster, we're still going to assign it some moves, right?
I think it starts off with like a rote list or rote couple of moves, but yeah, as you level up, you can basically pick from.
Yeah, starting techniques, ramp to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, like, this game doesn't have like anything kind of. My biggest complaint that's always been about Pokemon is if you did
This
that
is
in
not
real life,
Pokemon.
you'd go to jail. I know. I'm aware. That's different. That's why I'm saying that's bad. This is good. When you're when you're
What was
wrangling
your
a
actual
monster.
complaint that Steven interrupted you for?
Oh, please. Anyway, now if you're wrangling a monster and you're making that monster fight, you're kind of an evil bastich. And I'm fine with that. Is that something that the game ever addresses? Is it like something? Is there any type of morality setting to this, or is it just like woohoo, big fight?
It's mostly just woohoo, big fight. Like I say, like monster fighting is kind of a big, major, beloved pastime of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it tends to be just a beloved, fun pastime, and so you're just kind of assumed that you're going to be fighting your monsters. And
okay,
but also at the same time,
get injured, they can largely just sleep it off. And I'm even going to go ahead and use the suggested ruling of like taking death off the table.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
And just having them, just get the suffering condition instead of dying.
Check out this creepy creature, the Arborn. It is a fruit family, the adult only. The adult Arborn produces 2 fruit per session, and the drawing looks like little apples with faces and legs and stuff. As a standard action, this monster may drop a fruit to the ground, creating a juvenile Arborn that assists its parent until the end of the session, at which point it wanders off. That's not creepy at all. That is not creepy at all.
Yeah, generally speaking, these guys are a lot more, I guess, rendered. If you look at the art. So that makes them, that makes them a lot more tangible. So like the creepy ones look extremely creepy. Mm-hmm. Like the Arborn is really creepy. There's like one that's like a fly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a disgusting fly.
Yeah.
By the way, dibs on the disgusting fly.
Well, that was pretty much didn't need to be said.
I haven't decided yet, but I'm looking at the fly. I'm looking at the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling myself that I didn't want to do a robot, but I actually like this like robot butterfly.
You could do like a robot.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. You know me, I'm that guy. I'm gonna have to call Brian the day before. He's like, has anybody taken a robot yet? And if not, then I'll be the robot guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we tend to be in a group where everyone kind of does that.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of waits to see what everyone else is picking.
Yeah, it's because this is a super group made out of people that come from other gaming groups, and we're all drummers.
I'll have you know I'm a bass player. But yeah.
Not much better.
Yeah.
Hey.
Still rhythm, right? It's just like, okay, we'll follow you, and we're all just following each other in circles.
Yes.
Oh, it looks complicated, but I'm really thinking about the Depossum and the Aparted.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, I'm sure will help you.
I mean, it's not that hard. Absolutely. I mean, it explains things pretty clearly.
It is.
It's the only creature that's in this thing that's 2 pages long.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah.
That basically is 2 monsters in one.
Yeah.
Dude, go for it.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Well, let me read up on this.
Yeah, and as you're talking about, like, the monsters being more rendered, it does make like the more like what I feel cartoony ones even weirder.
Yeah,
like that
definitely.
pumpkin,
like the Fernkey.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. This is the music I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a chiptune kind of. And there's another one that has a slower build, but then gets... probably not that one. That one's too chippy tune. but I think this other one is the one I'm going to use.
Definitely sounds pretty right on.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. It's it seems like I've looked at several monster fighting kind of games, and this one is the one that I've liked best so far. Because I'd say most of them either are trying to directly emulate Pokemon,
right,
and are just
which is
way too complex. Yes. Or are like a lot more story focused, like that Anemon Pals. Like, it seems like a great game and all, but it's not much in the way of rules there, and I like my crunch.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about rules light, though. But I know a lot of you guys are crunchy rollers.
Well, I think
Brian,
rules are good for shorter sessions too, because it gives you more guardrails. It's like when you're bowling, but they put up the little plastic.
Yeah, but sometimes that means there's a lot of rules you have to learn.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like it front loads a lot of that work. It's like you don't get to the fun until everybody already knows the rules.
It should be noted that I don't learn the rules. I have Brian and Rob for that.
You're pretty.
You're welcome.
You've rent the rules before. How complicated are traps in this?
It's been a while since I've read. You probably would have to read just the Trapper class and see. Yeah. I don't.
So maybe I want to be a bug catcher.
I haven't gotten back to that.
You could name yourself John.
John the bug catcher?
No, Trapper John.
Oh, Trapper. Sorry, everybody was making noise, so I thought I did too.
Yeah, I want to ride a bird of prey, and you can just call me Hawk Guy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and since my bird of prey has claws, his name.
So you said you didn't want anybody to do breeder, right?
I'm not. If someone wants to be a breeder,
I mean, if my character
there is a breeder class.
So originally, when I was talking about the adult character last week, and you're like, I think we're going to do children, he was going to be a breeder because then it would be a little bit more interesting. But I can take that off and make my character younger and make him something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you want to be a breeder, that'd be okay. I just don't know how long this game's going to go, so I don't know how much you're really going to actually be able to make use of the breeding mechanic.
All right, I'll be a vagabond then. Is anybody else going to be a vagabond?
Yeah, you can call it.
All right, I'll be a vagabond. I don't know what that one does, but I'm just going to go off of the name of the class.
Of the various, specifically Pokemon-inspired tabletop RPG systems I've looked at, this one does have my favorite approach to monster breeding. And that, like, basically, the eggs, they hatch after a certain number of adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Which just that in and of itself means that you still are doing adventuring in between, trying to see what kind of perfect specimen you can create, where a lot of the games, like, it seems like you just would grind to a halt if you had a breeder just sitting there trying to make the ultimate monster from all your party's
here's my chance to annoy everyone again by saying, in Pokemon Go, you have the egg incubator that sounds like it does the exact same thing. You can continue to go out and explore the world while your egg is getting ready to hatch.
Well, and
then
regular
everybody
Pokemon, in general Pokemon, you have to if you take the only way to hatch eggs is to take them with you.
I know you have to.
You have to take a certain number of steps before they hatch.
What was that one?
Yeah.
Not Starry. Is that what its name was? Togepi.
Togepi. Yeah. Like in the anime, Misty was carrying that egg around for a while before that.
Oh, Vagabond and the possum are a perfect combo.
Sure. That's why I figured you were going for Vagabond.
Yeah, I am now. I'll have my guitar on my back and possum on my shoulder. Death Possum.
Call him what you will.
That's going to be his signature move, Death Possum. Just like in a Starfighter. What's the matter, Rob?
What?
What's
I
the
haven't
matter?
said anything.
Oh, I thought you just made a noise.
No, that was
No, that
Matthew.
was me.
Oh.
That was just 17 years of you no-selling my jokes like they're worse than yours.
No, and you can't help but just snicker at mine.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
It's okay.
I've
It's
been
okay.
snickering at you. It's
He's
fine.
just better at no selling than you are, Matthew. That's all.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, we have to have
Also,
flaws too. What are
You
what are
can't not
flaws?
acknowledge a joke.
What are
no
flaws?
flaws. They're just basically various traits you can take that are negative that can give you additional experience points to spend during character creation.
Really? Okay.
So, like, if when we were talking earlier and I was trying to see if everyone wanted to be kids, if so, then I was just going to largely, set adult as the default and just turn child into like a 2-point flaw, basically reversing that.
Oh,
But
okay. All right. That sounds cool. Like how child? 10-year-old child or a 15-year-old child?
I'd say 15's okay.
Okay. How old is too old? So between 10 and 15, or do we all need to be basically in the same class together?
No, I'd say you could all be different ages.
Okay.
But I'd say, probably 16 would probably be about the upper limit.
Okay.
Before I'd say consider maybe just taking the adult tag or the perk.
Yeah. We don't want to say adult tag because then that'll get us.
You put the
banned
adult
in
tag.
more countries.
Your character is just not in the podcast.
Yeah.
The Adult Swim. Every time you try to speak, you just hear beep.
All right. Cool. Anything else we need to know about as we go into our character creation?
Not really. I mean, I again look through the core rulebook. Each of the expansions each have their own classes. The Remnant has the Ritualist if you want to do weird magic-y stuff in this, or the Amorph expansion has the Chemist if you want to be doing some chemical warfare with your monster battling. And like I say, I did also grab the Rider and the Tyrant classes from the Patreon, although the Tyrant class I'd probably strongly suggest avoiding because it is really more of a kind of a baddie kind of thing of being mean to your monsters and pushing them to bite angrily. But hey, if you have a concept that kind of lines up with that, if we could probably make it work. But yeah.
Can I ride a stained glass butterfly?
How big is the butterfly?
Where is the ride? Is that in the core book?
I know that there's like
Yeah.
No,
there's
the
a
Rider is one of the
section
classes, I thought.
under
Or one of the
basic,
bonus classes.
under basic
Yeah.
gear. Under basic gear,
there's a
we have
riding gear. Yeah.
bicycle. We have truck. So those are and car. Bicycle, car, and truck are basic gear.
Yeah. No, I mean like not like can you give me a ride to the store? I mean like some sort of like ride rules.
Oh, like to ride your monster.
Character can carry one passenger that is one size smaller than itself, or two passengers that are two size smaller than itself. So yeah, it's on page. What page am I on? 41.
Mhm.
Yeah. How do we get Matthew on top of a sheep?
So yeah, it sounds like it just had to be one size larger than him.
Oh, that's fine. Wait,
And as kids,
Then you
what
need
size
to
are we?
go
Small?
I
Or
believe
medium?
they'd be small.
Oh, small creatures are roughly the size of a human child.
Yeah.
There you go. Default size for juvenile humans. Okay, so yeah, you just need to find something medium, Matthew, and you
Medium-sized.
should be able to. Yeah.
most of my
Oh,
characters.
does being juvenile shrink them?
Yeah, most juvenile monsters are smaller size. You have to look at that juvenile entry.
So they have to start. Do we have anything that,
Starts
like
at
out of the
medium.
rarity one? Do we have anything that legally can be ridden?
Not sure. I feel like I just looked at this yesterday, and I don't remember.
Tiny, tiny, small.
Nope.
Yeah, that
so
rider class just came out yesterday too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hot off the presses.
Yep.
Okay, the juvenile Napin is medium, so
Yeah.
Specifically the one Matthew wanted.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. There you go. There you go. You can ride your battle sheep.
The only other thing that looks like it can be ridden right now is the Stemosaur.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or, if you wanted to look at other one, maybe not the Cactodo, you would probably have to have some kind of saddle for that. A little spiky.
I had Cactodo in high school, but a few shots cleared it.
Brian, when do you want our character sheets? Like next week or?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys feel like you can get it done within this next week, that'd probably be good. I personally do have like a week of time that I've taken off of work just to get away from work and not really planning on going anywhere. So I was largely kind of planning on using that time to get all this really together. So if I have your characters by then, that would be good for me to plan around that.
Ooh,
Is
form
there a
fillable.
step? Is there a step-by-step how to make your character in the manual?
Yeah, there is. Forgot what I put it in that email.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if I can find it again.
Oh, page 54.
I don't have that
Okay.
email up.
Page 54.
54. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Creating
so
a
I'll just start
Wrangler.
there
54.
and we will build a character hopefully by next week.
Yep. And it's a pretty simple process. Like it say, choosing your perks and flaws may be the most complicated because you do get larger choices there. Otherwise, once you know what class or classes you want, that you really have just a few options to pick.
Okay, cool.
You have to take the signature ability, and then you can take one basic if you're, sticking with the one class, or you just get the two signature if you are dipping into two different classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess no one's going to be a medic and heal our monsters.
I mean, I don't know. I like it's like the monsters are very self-explanatory, but
Yeah.
I need to look at the classes because I was like, let me look at this trapper class, and already from the beginning is like its signature ability is like the entire column, and I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that right off the bat.
The reader is the same way.
Yeah,
but largely because it's a random table of what traits the child will get from the parents.
Yeah, how important do you think it is that we have like a mix of character classes? Like if we all walk in as trainers, is that going to be a problem?
I mean, I don't think it'd be a problem, but I would prefer everyone kind of have a variety of different things just because
I'm definitely
prefer that.
Yeah, I'm considering anything, so I could potentially be a medic just because I got character ideas, but
fair enough. Like I am a big proponent of niche protection, so the easiest way to do that would be everyone to take different classes. So that's what I would suggest, but I'm not going to disallow anyone from doubling up if they really got a good concept that they want to do with
Rob,
that.
what's your fossil guy like?
So, have you guys watched Dr. Stone?
No.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Is that an anime?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is very good. So it was the core concept is basically Senku, except his only focus is because it was an actual Pokemon game. It was the Tabletop United one, which one of my favorite things in that one system was you could change typings. So he was reviving fossils, but instead of doing it whatever way, it was with electricity.
I see.
So his entire focus was like, I'm just finding fossils and bringing them back, and I have an electric water Kabutops or an electric flying Aerodactyl. And then he was way too smart for his own damn good.
Mm-hmm. See, it's a Frankenstein metaphor.
I mean, the Remnant is about bringing stuff back, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Ritualist. That's
the Ritualist.
Yeah. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't necessarily go with that.
Yeah, and the thing, the classes are tied into monster category, which really doesn't. Tie into the energy, the technique types, which that's largely where the different energies would be.
Oh yeah,
So,
there is a whole like shooting lightning type.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that necessarily gives us a class within this. Like the classes are, they're like, I mean, I guess this is true for like literally any game that has classes. They're weirdly specific and also weirdly generic to the point where like, it's like you can fit some things into them, but not all things.
Yeah. So, like, if you want to be a sciencey guy, that's basically the mechanic, but then that means you're also largely focusing on the robot creatures rather than the monsters. And so, yeah. Because again,
are there? Does the does this country still have like a monster army? By which I mean an armed corps that involves monsters.
Not explicitly within the book. Again, that largely is kind of why there's the Monster Battling Association. I forget what the first A in AMBA stands for, but
right.
The Associated.
It's the country. It's the country name. I'm pretty sure.
Is it a Moria monster? I thought it was,
I think so.
It's the American Monster Association of America.
That's why I had to stop myself from saying it's like, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
But it's largely it's decentralized. It's basically people are largely trained to take care of monsters, and
if you can dodge a monster, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. Amateur Monster Battlers Association. That's what the first A is. But there is the Rosalian Monster Battle Association, which is kind of a more nationalistic one of Rosalia, which is a more isolationist country, although they've been loosening that in more recent times. And I thought about kind of setting a game within that because it really kind of sounds more like there's more kayfabe in that, because like all the non-Rosalians are kind of like
I do like the kayfabe
bad guys that so would be playing up these fake nation stereotypes. And
how long ago did that war end?
I think it was like where did I see, like 300 years ago?
Oh, okay, all right. So I didn't lose my parents in
the Jewel Empire.
Maybe you're 300 years old.
No.
Who knows how old 12 is to a block?
All right. Anything else?
Well, not too much I can think of. Yeah, like I say, look through it. If you guys have questions, shoot them out to me, and I'll be happy to answer what I can.
All right.
So far, it sounds like Rider and Vagabond for the two of you.
Vagabond for me, and the Death Possum as because it's a scrounger animal that works with my Vagabond class.
Yeah, I guess there is the Chemist and the Amorph expansion that is also kind of sciencey, but again, it's kind of tied into those Amorph monsters. So
and there's only one. There's only one rarity, one Amorph. So you're taking the car battery.
Yeah.
Or if
there's
you
also
really
only
want
one rarity, one remnant. So
yeah.
And Steven already called it.
And it's kind of not, because you have to have the creature faint before you actually get the remnant type out.
Yeah. Well, it says I can drop its health to 0 once it gets to a certain thing, and it gives my spirit animal.
Yeah, lets you activate.
Yeah, gets him to activate, and also gives him rage. So
rage.
How difficult would the breeder class be to manage, Brian?
I really wouldn't be that difficult. Again, I just don't know.
He's just saying you might not get around to. We might not get around to using your powers.
Yeah, by the time you get to or presumably you'd be just breeding like your monster with one of your party members or something. But who knows if you'd actually get around to actually hatching said monster before we get, I don't know, before we move on. I don't know. But maybe, maybe this will end up going forever like
my game, Brian? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Just
I was trying to
forever and never end.
Striders, was it? I couldn't even remember.
Stripe.
The name of the
Drifters, you mean?
Drifters.
Yeah,
Drifters.
yeah.
Spoilers?
That went a lot longer than we had anticipated.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It went. I think it went double what it was. I think it was only supposed to be like 26 sessions, so that it would be like done in a year. And I think it took 3 years to get through that. So
Yeah. Notoriously difficult thing to calculate how long a game is going to go.
yeah, yeah. I didn't figure
but
this one was going to go 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yes.
February of 2023. So yeah, 2 years now.
Yeah. Once you talking about it in real time, right? Is like once you factor that like there are entire months where we don't play,
Yeah.
just because stuff comes up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one, like the egg hatching part, is explicitly on your number of adventures, right?
Yeah.
So like that one, we can have a reasonable idea as to like, well, yes, the game might end up going a year and a half for some crazy reason. The number of adventures Brian has for said game is relatively like, it just may mean that we stumble through some of the adventures, making them go longer than expected.
Oh, that's a given, right? With us.
Yeah.
I mean,
So like, while overall time is hard to measure, the number of adventures should be relatively easy to at least approximate, right?
Yeah, and I can't really say I've had an outline for this campaign because it was kind of decided pretty quickly. Oh, we need to start a new game here soon. So
yeah. So if you don't think that the breeder is going to be able to actually finish doing its signature thing, then it's probably just not worth looking at.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd kind of plan on maybe not, unless that's really what you want to go with, and we can, if need be, we can fudge some things. We can shorten that hatch time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing I like playing around with in Pokemon in general.
Just stat blocks.
No, like you can get all sorts of nonsense by doing a breed chain for Pokemon. So like you can end up getting weird moves, and it's the only way to get some abilities on some Mons, and then it is the way to like transfer like so many different mechanical things come from just being able to transfer down through breeding.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I'm reading this, it does seem to be specifically weeks. Maybe I was thinking of some other system. So yeah, actually it takes 6 weeks for an egg to hatch.
Huh.
And then another week before the newborn becomes the viable juvenile, basically.
Uh-oh,
Hey, Brian, I got a question.
I sense a plot hook.
Yeah.
So if a monster fight breaks out, here it's like we are also fighting, right? Our characters and the monsters.
Yeah.
Right? Are we like throwing rocks at the monsters too?
Potentially, you can, yeah.
Okay.
You can use rocks or
I
other
feel-
weapons.
I feel like specifically the trainer is like buff your monster, whereas like everybody, like the hunters, literally like shoot an arrow at the monster.
Yeah.
There is the option to
Archery,
take
fire.
martial arts as a perk, so you can be good at fighting. I mean, they got stats for guns, but like the guns seem to be very like flintlock. Basically, you have to reload after you shoot them.
Love it. I love a setting that has like very different technological assumptions.
I mean, it's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got cell phones and flintlock guns.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a thing. Like literally,
least-
like when
Maybe
when you
not
talk-
flintlock. Maybe just like single shot.
Yeah, sure, but
reach
still,
open.
it's still that same kind of weird concept, right? That we develop
Yeah.
cell phones before we develop a revolver.
But that's the thing is like when you look at the way that technology actually develops, there's so many factors that go into it.
Yeah.
So it's like in a different timeline, in a different world, maybe it makes sense that guns wouldn't develop as fast as cell phones, right?
Well,
It's like
especially
we
if you
basically-
have, electric powered and fire powered.
Yeah, it's like- If you like, does this world have a space program? If not, maybe they don't have microwaves, right?
what?
Right.
Oh,
things
I'm gonna get
develop
my
because-
burrito.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
ballpoint pens.
Well, luckily there seem to be some radioactive monsters, so maybe that's how they do it.
I mean, one of the batteries has just basically a gel monster inside of them that you can crack open and make a monster, so...
Critical Hit is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC, and is produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you have thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, drop us an email at podcast@majorspoilers.com. If you want to discuss Critical Hit with other Critical Hit fans, be sure to join the Major Spoilers Discord. You can join it for free. There's a link in the show notes. Get into that Critical Hit channel. Talk to your heart's content. If you're looking for character sheets, we've got those too. Point your browser to patreon.com/majorspoiler.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.